Good morning, students. Subject Physical Education, Class 12th, Lecture number 4, Chapter number 4. The name of the chapter is Physical Education and Sports for SWSN, Children with Special Needs, Divyang. And here we have also be talking about the answers of questions from lecture number 3. So we did a lot of discussion about the different disorders and the disabilities, which we know the types and everything. So we are going to start today's lecture with topic 4.5, which is advantages of physical activities for children with special needs. So in this topic, we are going to talk about the benefits, the advantages of physical activities for the kids who need special needs, and we will also going to talk about how different kind of developments and improvements can be made through physical activities if we indulge these students in physical activities. So physical activities can play a significant as well as positive role in the life of children with special needs. During the past 3 decades, a number of studies have revealed that physical activities result in improved functional status and quality of life among children with special needs. So, from this whole topic, we will be learning about what the significance or importance which is made through physical activities in the life of children with special needs, and it is also been researched on, and it is proved that through physical activities there is a lot of functional status or the quality, means the mobility of an individual, the basic requirement of these kids can be improved while doing this physical activities. So physical activities can provide significant benefits for the children in special needs. Following are the advantages or benefits for physical activities for children with special needs. The first one is the physical improvement. Children who suffer from cognitive disabilities are most likely to suffer from physical impairment as well. Now, as you might still recall that cognitive disabilities are the disabilities in which an individual have problem in storing, processing and producing the information. So because of that particular problems or impairments, an individual might also have physical impairment. How? Because he or she will be having problem in storing the movement things, how the movements should be done, what kind of movements are to be carried on, or how perfectly or how efficient a movement should be done. So because of this reason, an individual may also suffer from physical impairment. The first one is, now here we are going to talk about how physical activities make it easier for an individual who is having different disorders or disabilities to have a good physical fitness. Involvement in physical activities can help these individuals to develop fundamental motor and physical fitness skills. So through physical activities we can actually have a good basis of motor skills. Motor skills are the basic movements or the different movements and body do. So if we are into doing physical activities in a daily basis, then it will improve your fundamental motor and physical fitness skills. These activities improve the level of well-being and physical health. So these activities also help you in improving the levels of your well-being, how an individual live, how the lifestyle of an individual is, and also the physical health, the outer appearance, the movement, the basic physical motor skills are, everything is improved. Physical activities enhance the hand eye coordination, flexibility, strength, endurance, and even cardiovascular efficiency. Now if you understand this point, that physical activities not only develop the outer or how you look, but it also enhances the eye hand coordination, because we do several of physical activities. For example, if you are playing football, or if you are playing volleyball or handball, in which this eye hand coordination is used, because you have to grip the ball and pass it on. So eye hand coordination, leg hand coordination, and all the coordination between the your muscles and neuromuscular coordination is done. Flexibility, also enhance strength, endurance, even cardiovascular efficiency means how your heart and lungs works. So it also enhances the cardiovascular efficiency. These activities help children with disabilities to fight back against problems such as obesity and other lifestyle diseases. In the last chapter we already read about different lifestyle diseases like asthma, hypertension, back pain, obesity, and many more. So these activities also help them to fight back against these problems. Physical activities help in maintaining healthier bone density and better overall fitness. So physical activities also help in maintaining good bone density, muscular system. So there is this overall fitness which is made. The next topic is mental improvement. Physical activities are not only good for a child's body, but these are beneficial for their mind too. In fact, physical activities improve general mood and wellness of children with special needs. So there is this improvement in the mental ability of a child, and how it is done as we play different games and sports. We need to focus and concentrate on a lot of things about the rules and regulation. We need to understand them. So it enhances our mental ability. It also improves the general mood of a child. A child might be, because of disorders and disability, might have negative moods, might be depressed or something, but because of doing continuous physical activities, the general mood and wellness of a child is also improved, and because of which there is an improvement in the mental health. Self-esteem. Physical activities are beneficial for children with special needs because such activities develop a sense of self-esteem and self-confidence. As a matter of fact, interaction and involvement with other students in physical activity help to give children a sense of accomplishment and confidence. So because we know that, or we have seen that people or children, those who have different disorders or disability, are not a part of a group most of the time. So if we involve them in playing games and sports with other students or children, so they will develop this sense of self-esteem, because they'll start knowing or start realizing that they are also a part of the society, and they can also do various kind of activities as others are doing, so which will develop a sense of self-esteem and self-confidence. And because of this interaction and involvement with other kids and children with whom they are playing, they will have this sense of accomplishment that yes, they are also able to do different kind of activities. Fourth is reduce the level of anxiety, stress, and depression. So it helps in reducing the level of anxiety, stress, and depression in the children. These kind of children might be more in contact with anxiety and stress and depression because of what kind of a characteristics they have, and the society is pretty different from them. So they might have this kind of anxiety and stress. But as we again and again are talking that through games and sports, or if we ask them to play every day with in involving other students also or children also with them, so it will make them more calm and they will feel more relaxed, and that is because they will have this reduction in anxiety, stress, and depression. Cognitive benefits. Physical activities lead to cognitive skill improvement in children with disabilities. These activities allow them to discover and access strengths that cannot be challenged in the classroom setting. So while making kids or children just sit in a class and discuss different subjects, if we indulge them in physical activities in the ground, or if we ask them to do physical activities which they love and they are interested into, then they can actually improve their cognitive skill also. Through different games and sports, they can actually learn how to store and process things properly, and they'll understand how to produce the information. So their cognitive ability will be enhanced if we take them out, and the specialized physical programs will be done by them at a regular basis. Next is improved social interaction. Now, as we know that while we are doing any kind of a physical activity with the society or with our friends or family, then there is this good social interaction is made. So physical activities provide this opportunity to the students with special needs that they can have an improvement in the social interaction among different children with special needs, and the social relationships, a relationship of cooperation, a relationship of harmony, a relationship of friendship, all these relationships are made while we are involved into physical activities. Next is better emotional and psychological health. So physical activities are beneficial for children with special needs because such activities improve emotional and psychological health. Because we indulge in a day to day physical activity, it not only get us out of stress and anxiety, but it also diverts one's mind from different emotional biased or negative emotions. So through playing games and sports on a everyday basis will not only help you physically, but it will also help you and at a level, at a emotional level also, where a child can express his feelings in a normal way, where a child feels happy by his emotions, and he also feels good and efficient while doing any of the psychological things. The point 8 says reduce risk of health complications. Now, physical activities are beneficial for children with special needs because these activities reduce or decrease the risk of various health complications like high blood pressure, diabetes, and at the same point, improve appetite and quality of sleep. So, it also helps in reducing the risk of health complication. There may be many diseases which can be cured or prevented if we indulge ourselves in physical activities, and the same thing goes for the children with special needs also, that there is less chances of getting high blood pressure because our body works in the particular way. The diabetes, the glucose level can be decreased while we do physical activities, as we use glucose or glycogen as a energy production for doing different activities. At the same point of time, it also improves our appetite. If we use a lot of energy, then obviously we feel hungry and we need to eat, so it improves our appetite. It also improves the quality of sleep. So here we are going to start with the subtopic 4.6, which is strategies to make physical activities accessible for children with special needs. We already had a discussion or a talk for about how advantageous or how beneficial it is for children with special need to have physical activities as their daily requirement. So we know that there are different kind of physical activities, but we also know that these children do have a disability or they have these special needs for of them. So it is very important for us to understand that we have to make these activities accessible for them, ready for them. So we need to have modifying them and the equipments and everything for that, so that these children can also take participate into these kind of or different kind of physical activities. Children with special needs have a right to develop their abilities in a democratic society through the process of education. So the following strategies should be taken into consideration to make physical activities accessible for the child with special needs. So as we are into a democratic society, so it is everybody's right to develop their ability, and same goes with the children with special needs also. So just to make these so that we can develop their abilities, we have to take into consideration that these abilities can be enhanced only when we enhance or we modify these special physical activities for them. So the very first strategy, which is medical checkup. First of all, it is essential to have a medical checkup of all the children with special needs or with various disabilities, because without medical checkup The teachers of physical education cannot come to know about the type of disability a child is facing. Indeed, if we really want to make physical activities accessible for the children with special need, we need to understand the type of disability of the children. So it is very important for a teacher to understand what kind of a disability a child is suffering from. Only then she can make it easier for the child to play different kind of games. So medical checkups are the most important thing which are to be done on in the very starting of any of the activity or very starting of any of the session, because without knowing people or without knowing or without understanding the sufferings of a child, it is very tough thing to make them play in the different physical activities. I give you a small example. For example, an individual or if a child is having any respiratory problem, so being a teacher, I will not ask the child to go and have a long run or to play games in which he or she might have problems. So we are going to provide them with games in which he or she will not have problems in her breathing, but we are going to make it interesting and we are also going to make it more accessible for a child to play that game. So it is very important for us to understand the medical condition of the child. Second is, physical activities must be based on interest of children. Indeed, physical activities must be based on the interest, aptitudes, ability, previous experience and limitation of child with special needs. So the teacher of physical education should have a deep knowledge of limitation, interest and aptitude of children. After that, physical activities can be made accessible for children with special needs more easily. So here we need to understand the interest of a child, it's his or her attitude toward the child, the ability of the child, the experiences which they had in their previous lives, and also the limitations, what all limitations they have, what all medical conditions they have. So accordingly we will be making different games and sports or different physical activities for different individuals. Each and every individual might have different kind of interest. Some might be interested in football, some might be interested in volleyball, some might be interested in basketball, and then again they might have different abilities of performing that particular thing. Some might be having cognitive disability or physical disability or intellectual disability. Then again they might be having previous experiences from different games and sports, it might be positive or negative. So we need to understand the interest of a child and accordingly we are going to make them play different games and sports. The third point says equipment related to physical activities should be according to the needs of children. Equipment or object related to physical activities should be according to the needs of children. These equipment should vary in shape, size, color and weight. These equipment should be according to the capability and level of children. A child with visual impairment should use bright colored ball. A yarn should be tied to the ball to bring the ball back to the children. So various types of equipment must be provided to children with special needs. Now from the very example which is given in the paragraph, you might have understood how these equipments or the objects which are used by these children are to be modified or are to be changed. We just can't let them play with the normal equipments or the equipments what are other children were using, because it might not only make them feel different from a child because they would not be able to play with those equipments properly, but they might also get themselves hurt. So it is very important for us to understand their needs, and according to the need of a child we have to modify the different equipments which are related to the activity. As it is said here, a child with visual impairment. Now we are not, see, visual impairment is again is divided. Some might be partially blind, some might be fully blind, so it depends. So now if a child is partially blind and can see a ball which is bright in color and he can actually contact with the ball properly, So we'll give him or her a ball which is bright in color. We can also tie up a thread or yarn with the ball, so that if he or she throws the ball, he can easily bring back the ball with the help of the thread. So all these modifications are to be done so that the physical activities are made easier or simple for the children with special needs. Fourth point says specific environment should be provided. The area of physical activities should be limited as movement capabilities of children with special needs are limited. Specifically, in case of children who have autism, they must be provided specific playing area because they may need some time to relax. Light and sound are also vital for making good environment for such children. So the environment in which these students play, the students with special need, or you can say the playing area of different games which are made for them, it should be very safe and according to the need of the child. Every child will have a different need. For example, if you are talking about a child who is visually impaired, so we need to make the walls and the surroundings to be soft. We should not ask them to play where there are potholes in the ground, or if there are pillars around, if there are trees around, and they might get hurt because of running here and there, because they are not able to see things properly. Same goes with other disabilities also. So it is very important for us to make the environment for them which is safe and which is clean, so that they do not harm themselves while playing in that particular environment. We also have to take care about their not only playing time but also for their recovery and resting time. If they need more of a rest time, then in a playground, in a playing area, we also need to have an area where they can sit and relax. Proper water is to be provided to them, and each and everything is to be there. So the grounds, the playing area, the walls around them or the surroundings around them should be safe enough for them to play in that particular area. Fifth one is a variety of different instructional strategies should be used for performing various types of physical activities. A variety of different instructional strategies such as verbal, visual, and peer teaching should be used. So with different kind of students, a teacher should use different kind of teaching strategies as well. It should be verbal, visual, or peer teaching. Means it should be verbal. If a child has a problem with listening, one is deaf for example, then we should use visualizations, or we should use different sign languages, or we should use different signs for them to understand what they need to do. Again, we can be verbal, we can talk, and we can make them understand what all things are to be done. Peer teaching means that we can group them up with different students to understand, and like a partner or in a group, we can make them teach different things, or again they can ask one and the other to understand the rules and regulations of the game. It can give children the opportunity to start learning on their own and become more independent. So this is how we are going to make them more independent, because they will be learning on their own, because we are taking care of their needs, and accordingly we are making them study or learn different things. Pictorial books are also vital in terms of instructing regarding different activities. So we can also show them different pictures and designs and different things or books, through which we can make them understand what kind of activity we are going to play, what all techniques or skills are there, how we are going to do it, so we can make it more interesting. The sixth point is rules should be modified according to the needs of with disability. So in the beginning, rules of physical activity should be simple, but later on these rules can be modified according to the needs of the children. They can be provided extra attempt or time to perform a physical activity. They can also be given additional resting time before doing the next physical activity. So here we need to understand that not only equipments or the playing areas to be modified for them, but also the rules or the regulations of the game are to be modified according to their needs. We should provide them more time because they understand slowly, or they might be slow because of their some physical disability. So we should give them more extra or more time so that they can perform and do the activity properly. To understand the activity, perform the activity, so extra time should be given to them. And in the starting we should make games easier for them so that they can at least generate some kind of interest towards that activity. If they will find it very difficult for them to participate or perform that kind of activity, they will not take interest into it. So first of all we need to make it simple so that they start taking interest. And after, when we know that now they have there is this improvement in their physical aspect or in the way they are playing, then we can later on we can again make some changes in the rules and regulation of the game. Seventh point is, children's previous experience must be taken into consideration for making physical activities more accessible for children with special needs. The concerned teacher should of physical education should have comprehensive understanding and knowledge of children's previous experience about physical activities. In conclusion, it can be said that above mentioned strategies are significant to make physical activities accessible for children with special needs. So you might have understood the last point also, that children with previous experience, so you should understand the previous experience of a child. It might be a experience which is positive or negative, or if you ask him to play something, you should know how his abilities and capabilities were improved by these games previously, what kind of strength they do have. And we'll understand all these things only when we know about their previous experience in the games and sports. So these all are the different strategies which are to be made so that we can make it important for them to play physical activities, as it is beneficial for them to have different changes and improvement in the body. Now the homework. Question number 1. Explain any 3 strategies to make physical activities accessible for children with special needs. Question number 2. Explain the advantages of physical activities for CWSN. Answers of questions from lecture 3. Write any 5 disability etiquettes. Answer. In case of introduction to a person with the disabilities, it is appropriate to shake hands. When you meet a person with a visual impairment, always identify yourself and others who may be with you. Leaning or hanging on a person's wheelchair should always be avoided because such act is generally considered annoying. In fact, the chair is the part of the personal body space of a person who uses it. Never patronize person who use wheelchairs by patting them on the head or shoulder. Always introduce yourself to persons who are blind using your name. The next question was, what are the causes of ODD? Answer. Biological or genetic factors are there. So children are more susceptible to developing ODD if they have a parent with a history of ADHD or ODD. Also, children may be affected with ODD if their parent had depression or bipolar disorder or exposure to toxins or poor nutrition. Second is psychological factors. Children may be developed ODD if they don't have good relation with parents or have neglectful parents for or have inability to develop social relationships. Social factors, oppositional defiant disorder may be due to inconsistent discipline, divorce, poverty, chaotic environment in the family, and exposure to violence. So question number 3 is, what do you understand by ASD? Answer. Autism spectrum disorder is a disorder that affects development. It is characterized by social interaction difficulties, communication challenges, and a tendency to engage in repetitive behavior. Question number 4. Write any 3 obsessions and compulsions of OCD. Obsessions are a fear of being embarrassed, a fear of getting dirty, a fear of making mistakes. Compulsions: repeating specific words, hoarding, or constant praying. So this is the end of chapter number 4. Thank you.